I remember in my early life on the track, as I started to go faster, the mental strain and the amount of effort it took physically became more and more difficult. And at the time, I felt this was normal. You're going faster, which means your brain and body is working harder to deal with the speed. But what I eventually came to realize is that while speed equals more effort is true to some degree, there's actually a lot less correlation between speed and effort than you might think, which is exactly what we're going to talk about today. I'm going to share the main traits and skills that determine how difficult riding really feels, and how improving them can actually help you ride faster with less effort. Some will be longer term improvements, but others will benefit you almost immediately. And while this is mostly going to be in the context of the track, I have found that a lot of this applies to my road riding too, so if you generally want to know how riding can feel easier, stick around. Alright, so let's quickly get this one out of the way that I know most people don't want to talk about, and that's your fitness levels. If we go to the extreme ends of this, top MotoGP riders are among the fittest athletes on the planet. They need high levels of strength and stamina to deal with everything that level of riding throws at them. Now, you definitely don't need to have those fitness levels to ride fast and enjoy riding. And this is clear when you start to get a few rungs down on the motorcycle racing ladder, where you find riders that are still very fast by 99.9% of people's standards, but they don't look like the MotoGP elite. Having said that, the simple fact is that the fitter and stronger you are, the easier you're going to find it to ride, because your body doesn't have to work as hard to do what you're asking it to do. And where this usually shows up is not so much in speed over 1 or 2 laps, but how long a rider can ride at that pace, and also how tired they feel towards the end of a day's riding. Honestly, unless you genuinely want to, I wouldn't suggest anyone needs to be in peak physical fitness, but even just a basic level of strength and stamina will make a difference to how you feel during and after your rides. Not to mention, it just means you're generally healthier, which is only a good thing in my book. But I appreciate that this is one area that can take time to really improve. However, these next few will help you much quicker. The first is how you're approaching the corner and using the brakes. I fell into the same trap as many other riders in thinking that the way to go faster was to brake as late as I could and use them as little as possible. And on paper it makes sense. If I'm braking very late, it means I'm accelerating for longer down the straight, slowing down for less time, and carrying more speed into the corners. But while many newer riders would benefit from braking later and using more braking potential, past a certain point it can actually make things harder, because if you're already braking to a decent level, trying to brake a bike length or two later, it may save you fractions of time at the end of the straight, but you'll probably lose that and more on the other side of the braking zone and as you move into corner entry. Because being in maximum attack mode like this often leads to overwhelm and over braking. And to bring it back into the context of this video, it just makes riding feel an awful lot harder physically and mentally. By going back to a more sensible braking point, which reduces the mental and physical bombardment, it not only means you can ride in a calmer state, but you'll probably see bigger benefits in terms of speed too, all while putting in less physical effort. Now, there is nuance here, and this will be more important in some corners than others, particularly in medium to high speed corners where you spend more time in them because corner speed is just more important there. The biggest indicator that this is a problem for you is where you have corners where you feel like you're braking very late and using a lot of braking potential, but you're still going too slow into and through that corner. This shows you're probably attacking those corners a little too much, and if you have a few of them over a lap, it's just going to take its toll. Instead, try braking a little earlier and less aggressively, and you'll likely find those areas start to feel less intense, and as an added benefit, you'll probably go faster too. Alright, really quickly before we carry on, if you are a track rider trying to understand how to reach high levels, I actually have a free workshop that shares how riders can go from a complete beginner to high-level rider, and the best path to doing that safely. If you're serious about your development as a rider, this is definitely for you, and you can learn more about going through the link in the description or in the top pinned comment. Okay, so another area where people put in a lot of unnecessary effort is with body position. Going back to our elite riders, one of the reasons why they need to have those fitness levels is because of what they're asking their bodies to do as they work to unlock fractions of time that can be the difference between winning and losing. Honestly, it's amazing what they're doing. The trouble is, there's a common sentiment in the riding world, which is do what the best do. And that's great if you can, but if you can't do that comfortably, you're going to expel unnecessary amounts of effort and most likely go slower. If you're not in peak physical condition and you find it hard to ride using a modern racing style, it's perfectly okay to have a more modest body position that doesn't put too much strain on you. Generally speaking, the more of your backside you slide off the seat and the deeper and further to the inside you move your head and upper body, the harder you're going to have to work. And if it is difficult for you to maintain that position, you'll get tired quicker, and that will impact your control and speed. Again, we're trying to go faster with less effort, and sitting in a more conservative riding position is a very good way to achieve that. And honestly, it really won't make a big difference to the ceiling that you can ride to. Many other factors will be much more important than this. You could even consider changing bikes to help here. Honestly, I can't tell you how much easier it felt going from a Honda Fireblade to a Street Triple some years ago. The lower pegs and higher bars just meant moving around was easier, the hang-off position was less extreme, and with the higher bars, the steering was easier too, all adding up to make riding at speed feel considerably easier. Now, that might be a step too far for some, and don't get me wrong, riding fast is always going to require a decent amount of effort. But the main point in that story is that the more conservative riding position just makes things feel easier, bringing all the benefits we've already mentioned. Also, on the subject of your body and how you use it, on the bike, it's important to have an awareness of how you actually feel and being able to notice things that don't feel right. Not just to change your position later, but also just to notice if you're riding unnecessarily tense or holding your breath for long periods of time, for example. Riders can do these things without even realizing, and again, it just adds up to making it feel harder than it should. Making the riding feel harder than it should. Stop it. And having that awareness becomes so much easier when your mind doesn't feel bombarded. And nothing will help you deal with the mental side of speed more than using your eyes correctly. And regular viewers will likely know this by now because I talk about it all the time. This means getting your eyes up and ahead to your next reference marker and switching your vision to the next one when you're sure you're going to hit the previous one. Having this extended view and confidence in where you're heading and the space you have can be a revelation to a rider that isn't doing this. Another part of this is your peripheral or wide vision, which is a key aspect to getting into flow state where your mind goes quiet, muscle memory takes over, and rhythm and timing feel much easier. Instead of tunneling down on specific spots, widen your view and become aware of what's happening outside of your main focus too. This wider awareness is going to improve your sense of speed and what's going on around you, compounding the feeling of being calm and in control. I cannot state enough the difference that good visual skill can make to how you feel, ultimately leading to the sensation that you're going slower, which more often than not will lead to you going faster. And if you can put that together with everything else we've covered here, you can open up a whole new level of calm and control, and with it, speed. Okay, so like we covered, body position is a key place where riders put in unnecessary effort that brings unnecessary discomfort. And if you want to learn the particulars of what a more conservative body position looks like, I break down the full motorcycle body position guide in under 8 minutes in this video here. Outside of that, thank you so much for joining me for this one, and I will see you in the next one. Take care.